Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard.
I'm drowning in way too much grading. The end of the semester sucks. I'm Caroline before he yells at me.
And we go to a frankly baffling number of cons every year.
We didn't go to a con tonight, though.
We did not. This is not actually our main episode for this week. This is a special bonus we're recording.
We'll probably post it afterwards because I think people care more about GalaxyCon than they will about this.
I'm going to be honest, I'll probably just post it tomorrow.
Fine.
So, special mini episode on the Friday.
I feel like our fans probably tire of us with how much we do.
Probably.
And by fans, I mean
Both
friends.
of them, yeah.
I mean friends. Our fans are our friends.
This is true.
Unless you're like creepy and masturbating to this, in which case you're not. What?
Wow, you went to a weird place early. Okay. For the record, if you are doing that, it doesn't actually bother us.
No, that's actually fine. Just don't, consent is important. Other than that, go for it.
Yeah, if you want to do that, fine, just don't tell us.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway.
It's cool that we're doing this, or I said that joke, given that we're reviewing a children's ice
Yes, I have issues with that.
Do you need to cut that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't edit. Because editing takes effort and work, and those are two things I'm too lazy for.
So the technical title of this event is the Wheeling Symphony on Ice.
Yes.
It's the first weird event we went to before we even started going to cons.
It is.
So we thought it'd be fun to review it.
Specifically, this is our fourth time going. We've been every year for the past 4 years.
Well, sort of 3.5, because we did leave early last year, mostly due to getting our dog to the UK.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
But, so we went to we found this event completely randomly through a Facebook ad 4 years ago.
And for those of you who don't think those types of things work, they do. Pretty much exclusively just on me, personally. I've never met anyone else that they actually work on, but they work on me.
Yep. So you literally just showed me this ad one night at game night. It was just like, should we go to this? And it was still pretty early in our relationship.
Yeah, I think this was a couple months after you had been over here the first time when you were still on a visitor's visa.
Yeah, I came in on the October and it was early December.
Yeah.
It was 2 months at most after I got here.
Yeah.
And we were still figuring out our relationship and all of that jazz. And I was just like, yeah, sure. Sounds weird.
Yeah.
Might be fun.
Yeah. And then I saw tickets were $8 and I'm like, okay, well, low cost, low effort. It's an hour away. Why not try it?
Yeah.
So this is a very weird event. It's unlike a lot of musical/symphony performances. There is one night.
Yep.
Just one. No
one.
multiple ones.
One every
year.
Which
is understandable given the amount of people involved in this. It's on a Thursday, pretty much always.
Yep.
First Thursday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And it's been, every single year they do add a slightly new, slightly even weirder element than the year before.
What was the new element this year?
The fact that they had a random person conducting the orchestra.
Oh, that. Yeah.
That definitely wasn't even last year.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing last year. So, yeah. But, no. Fundamentally, what this event is a combination of a symphony orchestra performance of various Christmassy themed music.
From the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra.
Wheeling Symphony Orchestra.
A bunch of various youth choirs, and it looked like one, just because I was looking at the pan camera, at least one choir of old men.
Yep.
That were there. We don't judge.
Nope.
A bunch of children's skating clubs.
Yep.
Skating clubs, if you're not familiar, are kind of a northern U.S., Canada thing. Skating club, it generally tends to be for people who want to do figure skating as opposed to ice skating. They came about in part because a bunch of girls wanted something to do with the rink while their brothers were doing hockey practice. And a lot of what they traditionally do is just pageants for parents and things like that. But they do teach important disciplines of figure skating generally, and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is about 6 different groups of those, of children ranged in every age imaginable.
Yeah, I think the youngest kids are probably somewhere around, 10?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little younger. Up to, teenagers. And they also every year get at least one full-on professional Olympian-level figure skater.
Yes. This year they had Mariah Bell.
Yeah, I have no idea how they get these people to do this thing, but they do.
Generally, I will say, professional figure skaters, a lot of people do like giving back to the community that taught them to skate. And, every single professional figure skater was a child in one of those costumes dancing around at some point in their life.
This is true.
I think that's part of it. I assume they probably also pay them, but, I don't know much of the specifics of that.
We don't know the background. We don't know any of that stuff, but yeah. So, yeah, it's basically a musical performance combined with, ice dancing.
Several different orchestras. And additionally, there's also a catering company there that serves people food, like a 3-course meal on the ice.
Yes.
You have to pay extra, I assume, for those seats. You can't even buy them from the normal website. But that's also going on amidst everything else.
Yep. Again, there's a lot going on at this event. It's at the the Westco Arena?
Yeah, there's probably at least 300 people involved just in the event itself.
Yep.
And that's not counting all the children's parents who are probably also there.
Yeah. So again, it is a weird event, but we kind of love it.
We do. It's kind of the first weird thing we really did, or one of the first weird things we did, similar to Mystics and Marvel. So it has a special place in our hearts. It's generally a fairly low-cost event. It's always on a Thursday, so it's generally not going to conflict with cons, and it's adorably cute. We are pretty much the only people there who aren't either from Wheeling or have children in it, but we love it.
Yeah, like every year you're like, okay, you need to pick a random child, and if anybody asks, that's ours, so we can justify why we're at this event.
I try to pick the nerdiest kid possible.
Yep. For the record, nobody's ever actually asked. Like,
we got close this year.
They did. They weren't going to ask that.
Well, they were pointing out their kid, and then they, I think, expected us to tell us which of the ones was ours. They did point out their kid to us.
They did.
That's how you exchange that. They were hoping to make a connection there, and we couldn't because we didn't fictionally adopt a kid.
Again, our reason for going to this is adorable. It's just a romantic thing we like doing together every year.
And one day we might have a tiny child. I was talking to somebody about that today and forced them to participate in this.
Yep.
And then, in parts, we can put them in embarrassing costumes, take a bunch of photos, and then torture them with it later.
Hey, the costumes at this are really good.
Yeah, I will say the costumes, because all of these kids, each kid gives one performance. One. It's 2 hours of music. There's 200 children on the ice in various costumes. All of their costumes for all of the children fit them perfectly.
Yep.
And some of those kids are at ages where they definitely weren't even the same size a week ago.
Yeah, one of the, the boys in particular looks like he's just had his growth spurt in the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little on the gangly side in the most adorable way possible.
I think you related, yeah.
Yeah, I remember going through that.
If you've seen Richard, you know that he's on the gangly side too.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you were a teenager, you were even more gangly.
Oh god, yeah. Again, I am 6'6". You don't reach 6'6" without going through a gangly, awkward, why the hell am I this tall phase. So yeah, whoever is in charge of the costumes on this does a really stellar job. I'm assuming it's not one person, because that would be insane. But whoever is doing it is doing a great job. And there were a lot of really cool costumes.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be like a normal episode. We'll talk about a couple chronological things. No top favorite con moments or anything, obviously.
Because again, it was a singular performance.
Special bonus episode, Christmas Holiday Spectacular. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get to put some clickbaity things in the tags for this one.
You're not saying the ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you.
But yeah. So again, we've been going to this event for 4 years? 4 years.
So the first 3 years we went, we got the same seats. The exact same seats.
Yep.
Every single time.
And part of the reason we got those seats is, one, they were cheap.
They're $8.
And two, they were actually over in the corner, which meant we were pretty close to the choir.
Yep.
Which was nice. We had a reasonable view, though we were a little far from the actual skaters. And the skating performance is obviously pitched towards what you would consider the front. Whereas we were kind of over in the back.
Yeah.
Because again, cheap seats.
But we were pretty much next to the tunnel where all the kids and skaters come out, so you get to see a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, people adjusting costumes, people desperately wrangling kids and putting them in line.
Which is kind of adorable in its own way. It always gives... So, for anybody who's not aware, I play the violin. I don't practice anywhere near as much as I should. But when I was a kid, I was in a youth orchestra. And every time we go to this event, I just get flashbacks to, the behind-the-scenes of that.
It's very cute. And, some of the kids, because they have, fairly famous figure skaters there that probably the kids do watch on TV and stuff like that, all the little kids are, going up to the figure skaters, and it's so cute.
It's aggressively adorable. So, yeah, it's a nice event. But, yeah, so we've gone with those seats the past few years. Now, this year, they upped their prices.
Yes.
Specifically, did they actually like tier the pricing at all, or was it just a single flat
So
rate?
all of the things on the what effectively were the like main bowl. So like a lot of arenas, this has more than one level, and technically 3 levels, but the first and the second level are combined. A lot of you who've been in arenas know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then they have a higher third level. And prior to this year, they didn't use the third level, if I'm remembering correctly. No one sat up there.
I don't remember people sitting up there before, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, so I don't think they used the third level. This year they opened the third level, I think just to demand, which is cool. But effectively what that meant is that all the seats on the first and second level were the same price, and then there were slightly cheaper seats up above, but all of them were higher than $8. So
Yes.
we decided, well, we generally buy tickets fairly early to this anyway. Let's just get like some act seats sitting where you actually are supposed to sit,
Yep.
and see how that is.
Yes, this time we were kind of middle-ish, slightly off to one side, which, when I say off to one side, I mean we deliberately got end of a row, basically, because again, like, it's easier with your disability if you're on the end of a row.
Yeah, just because it's a little bit less crowded, and the seats did feel a little bit less claustrophobic than the other ones.
Yeah.
I think primarily also because we weren't surrounded by families with children, because these were, I think, people who were a little bit more like wanted just decent seats and a nice experience. That was nice.
Yep.
And the people who were sitting next to us were nice, and they also moved over a seat because they realized the seats further down weren't taken, just to give us a little bit more space, which is sweet.
Yeah.
Although I didn't think that was interesting, because generally, like, if I'm picking seats that aren't on the aisle, I generally, if there's like more than a few seats available, I generally pick seats that are one off from where people are sitting, because I don't think it's going to be likely that someone's going to get that one seat in between us.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, I get the impression they bought their tickets that night, which is a thing you can do.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if you do that, the venue will just kind of give you the most logical tickets.
Yeah,
and
they're
try
lame.
and cram you in.
And they were perfectly nice. They talked to us. They pointed out their kid, which is why we needed to adopt a child, so we could have had a commonality with them.
But yeah.
Especially if we adopt a child that's like looks too old for us to possibly have produced, so they can judge us more.
Yep.
What?
Again, keep in mind, like, we could just claim it's a younger sibling of one of us.
No one goes to support their younger sibling's ice pageant.
Some people would.
You don't even have siblings.
I know. Which means I'm, like, incredibly generous as to what I think I would do for one. The only sibling I've got is, my, brother-in-law.
I was trying to make a comparison to Jake, but A, you actually like Jake, your best friend, and B, if Jake was in an ice pageant, you would definitely watch, but not for the reasons of supporting Jake.
Oh, look. He and several of my other school friends went to the aforementioned, string orchestra performance that I was part of for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get my revenge somehow. It's fine. I don't think he listens to this podcast.
You should. I thought you linked this to him. Anyway.
I think I did, but I can't. That was ages ago, and I don't know if he ever.
So the point is, like, I think this event there's enough going on at this event that if you just happen to enjoy people watching, I almost said pizza watching, which is.
Are you hungry or something?
Probably. It's almost dinner time for me.
That's fair.
If you happen to just enjoy people watching, God damn it, it's late. I've talked to a lot of people today.
Yep.
If you happen to enjoy people watching, there's not really a bad scene in the house, because there's just so much going on at any given moment. Like, you can watch people eating, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people wrangling children, and, like, no matter where you are, there's always something fun that you're kind of seeing.
Yeah, you're going to see something cute.
And in addition to this, they also have a children's coloring contest where they display the pictures that kids draw, drawing contest, because they didn't make the pictures themselves on the screen. And at intermission, they have the kids, like, stand up and everyone applauds them.
And it's very cute.
It is. Pretty much all of this event is cute. Because some of the youngest skaters can barely skate. It is so adorable.
Yep.
Which, again, that's how everyone starts. We're not making fun of them in any way.
No. Again, it does mean I always feel a little sorry for any act that's immediately following the professional Olympian-level figure skater.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm like, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with your performance, it's just you're a little outclassed by what was
Well, they
just
normally
done.
have the cute little kids on after them, and parts of the cute little kids can meet them.
Yep. Which does kind of, again, you can't judge the little kids for not being as good as the, professional level person, and that's fine.
Yeah. I don't even know if we're bothering going in chronological order with this.
I don't really think we can. I think, yeah.
We'll just talk about it. Like, you can't talk about parking, though.
Yeah. The parking's $10. Get there early because driving in and out of Wheeling is a pain in the neck.
Wheeling is off a river. Like, the town is built around the river, which means the roads are basically like congested funnels.
Yep.
So you need to get there early. We got there an hour early, and like it really didn't feel like we got there early at all.
No, like again, we got there. So it started at 7. We got there at I think 6:10.
Yeah, and by the time we like got parked, got in, like walked around, got a snack, and sat down.
Yep.
And they didn't even start on time, which is to be expected because it's an event that has about 200 small children.
Yeah.
They did start within 15 minutes, which I consider starting on time if you have 200 small children.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was about 10 past when it
Yeah.
started, which again is fine. But yeah, like, yeah, the actual parking is pretty straightforward. You know, drive in, give them some cash, and then just standard multi-story car park job.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like we got there close to an hour early. We had to go up 4 levels before we found a parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I suspect that car park probably does fill completely for this event.
Also, keep in mind that these are various skate clubs. Some of them are in Wheeling, some of them are in Pittsburgh, which about is an hour away. There's multiple school buses that are around transporting a bunch of choir children and skating children
Yep.
from different areas to get there, and their parents are all parking. So people have probably been at this venue for 2 hours already by the time you get there. So.
It is a little bit of a mess. If you can get there early, do. Again,
Yeah.
we basically came straight from work. Like we couldn't have got here any earlier. And I think we got here at about the right time.
Yeah, this was the right time. I didn't feel like there was not a line outside for parking. We got in relatively quickly. There was a little bit of a, like, I guess, delay just because people were walking across the street. That's normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. But again, like, the one thing that does mildly annoy me at this venue is they do the security theater.
Yep.
Like, you have to walk through a metal detector.
It's very lazy security theater, to be fair.
None of them cared.
Yep. Like, it takes 2 seconds to do.
Yep.
And then the tickets are just basic, get a QR code and scan.
Barcode, actually, which is hilarious.
Yep. The food is what you would expect. I probably should mention, the venue is the Wheeling Nailers Hockey Arena, which is a very old school hockey arena. As somebody who grew up with hockey, I love old school hockey arenas. We did go to one Wheeling Nailers game. It was, in fairness, bring your dog to the game night.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. Emma had doggy ice cream.
She threw up the doggy ice cream.
She then threw up because, again, like they did. Emma, for anybody who's not familiar, is a dachshund mix, so she's about that big. They were giving away the same amount of, like, if you went and got doggy ice cream, you got the same amount of ice cream regardless of the size of your dog, so she ate way too much of it.
Yep. We were like, she's going to know when, and I'm like, she's not going to know when.
No, that was on me.
Plus, she was also shaking because the ice cream makes her cold and it confuses her, which is adorable.
It's very cute.
She also got the parade on the ice.
Yeah.
I put her in a tutu. It was great.
Yeah, you did. No, my favorite moment from that was just when she like jumped up on us to request up-ups. We picked her up, and then a big dog across the way that was like golden retriever or something like that saw this and then started like jumping on its owner to request up-ups as well.
If they're doing that again this year, I might.
I might go again. Yeah, it was cute.
But that was not this event. But it's in the same building, so it is a smaller hockey-based arena, which hence why there's like ice on the floor that they're easily able to put there.
Yep.
Because of where they set the tables for the people who are being served the buffet, they effectively take away half the ice rink for the table. So the area is quite small. Mm-hmm. And part of the entertainment is watching the skaters get so close to the tables.
Yeah, there's at least a couple of people who get a little bit of free ice.
Mm-hmm. But all the people, I don't know what you have to do to procure one of the bigger tables. I assume it's probably out of what we would be willing to spend on this event.
Probably.
But it seems cute, so. It
does. Like, I put it this way, given one of the things they did kind of just after the intermission was they gave like special like bags to their various sponsors as like thank you presents. Those all went to people who were sitting at tables on the ice. So I suspect sponsoring the event is one way to get a table.
Yeah, I don't know if I could give them enough money to sponsor it.
Yeah, no.
But I'm sure it does probably cost money, so.
I don't know if we'll convince the university to. Anyway.
And we can ask them. There are a lot of potential muskies in that room.
Yeah.
Most of those kids, young enough that, the name recognition might be worth it for them.
Yeah. Like, I've heard worse ideas.
Yeah, I'm to,
I'll mention it to the admission department. But yeah. So, what was my brain?
So I was talking about the arena and how like half of
Yes.
it's taken up by the table, so it's a
Yes.
very small ice arena.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's like fully half of it or anything like that, but it probably does shrink it by about a third.
Yeah. Which does mean there's less room for the skaters, which also always impresses me because keep in mind some of these routines have one person, some of them have like 20 different kids on the ice at once.
Yep.
And like I'm amazed they can keep them from running into each other. In part because most of these skating clubs are like from out of town and stuff like that, so they can't have practiced much on that ice specifically.
Yeah, I would agree. Like again, it was interesting watching the professional Olympian who got a lot closer to the edges than everybody else did, just because again, like she knew exactly what she was doing. She was completely confident and completely safe.
Yeah, we did have our first casualty that I have witnessed this year, though.
Somebody fall, you mean?
Oh no! So they always put the to put a barrier-ish around the ice to block the tables. It's not much of a barrier. They put a bunch of poinsettias around the outside to decorate it.
Oh yeah.
Our first casualty, one of the poinsettias. Zamboni driver ran into a poinsettia.
Yeah.
He didn't hurt anyone. It was perfectly fine.
It was just kind of funny.
funny.
Yeah, I don't feel like the Zamboni driver was as good this year as in past years. He must be new.
He got cheers though. The like choir kids were cheering him on.
Yeah. Which again, it's a very sweet, cute, wholesome little event.
Yeah.
Like there's not that much to it.
Yeah, again, there's been a couple things they've tried over the years. They did the can on ice one year.
God, that would look dangerous.
They had a maypole that nearly fell over one year.
That was the first year we were there.
Yep.
But yeah, like they're always doing stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like last year they did the Nutcracker. I will admit, last year we were in a bad headspace.
Yeah, we should probably explain why. So last year we went to the UK for Christmas.
Yep.
Specifically, we went, like we were supposed to be flying out the Sunday or the Saturday. The Sunday.
I'm pretty sure it was the Friday. We were supposed to fly out the next day.
No, it was not the Friday.
How do you know?
Because we were definitely flying over the weekend.
Okay.
We did it that way on purpose.
So yeah, Saturday?
So it was either Saturday or Sunday we were supposed to be flying out.
No, it was definitely Friday.
I'm 90% sure it wasn't. Because we ended up flying out on the Tuesday, remember?
But I joked about going to GalaxyCon because
we were flying out. We were literally supposed to be flying out while GalaxyCon was going on.
Yeah, then we had to drive back. That was a whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so either way, we were supposed to be flying out like
vaguely sometime between Friday and Tuesday.
It was definitely over the weekend because I went to work that Friday.
That's fair. This is the type of fight couples have. You know we're married.
Yeah. But yeah, so specifically, we were flying to the UK for Christmas, so we were going to spend about a month there. I husbanded the bejesus out of my PTO, and I agreed to like do some quote unquote work from home, where home was in the UK. Never actually got that back, but anyway, I did like 50 hours of work, and they still made me take that as PTO. I hate my old boss, but anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, dog. So yeah, so getting a dog into the UK is a massive pain in the neck in terms of the paperwork required, because the UK are a bag of dicks about it. So we were in the there's a bunch of approval stuff you need to get done, and it can't be done in advance. You've basically got to get it done like less than 2 weeks before you fly. And that includes waiting on Heathrow to approve stuff, which usually takes several days. So we got the confirmation from Heathrow just as we arrived at the event last year, saying that Emma's paperwork had been rejected and they weren't going to let her into the UK. So I had to call them up immediately to find out what I needed to do to fix that. Because the problem was that, like, it's not even worth going into, but basically it required me like driving to the vet the next morning, and like it was a pain. But so we were kind of stressing about that. You don't like flying generally, so we were stressing about that. So yeah, like last year we weren't in the right headspace to really enjoy it. Like it was still good, but
it was still good. But we weren't like definitely in a good headspace. I was stressed out and tired. I generally do tend to be stressed out and tired this time of year, just because it's finals week, and the students, there's AI, there's people. I don't want to get too much into the personal stories because that's their business and stuff like that. It's just, it's a stressful time for the students, which means it's a stressful time for me trying to support the students. Not all the students are bad. Not all the students are good either, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's a time period where like I need to be very hands on deck on campus, and it's just kind of exhausting. So that on top of the stress of getting the dog over there was a lot that year.
Yeah.
And that year was also just kind of miserable generally because the university was more on fire last year than it was this year.
Yeah.
It's still on fire, but it's less on fire.
Yeah. And again, your contract was also up for renewal, which was
just got to be kind of like ridiculous generally. So that was kind of a bad thing. And then most of that year was the Nutcracker, and I like the Nutcracker fine. It's not my favorite to see done on ice, and like pretty much all of the songs were from the Nutcracker, except for one or two that are like they do pretty consistently every year.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't watch this much Nutcracker. I think at one point they had the same song twice.
They did. Like,
Keep in mind these are multiple skating groups, so they're not always necessarily like talking to each other about like what the other skating group is doing.
Yes, I think they did a better job of that communication this year because there weren't any repeats. Like there were still 3 different pieces for the Nutcracker, but there were at least 3 different pieces for the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
And they had just a bunch of other stuff this year. And again, like there are some things that they do every year. They always end with "We wish you a Merry Christmas," and
they end with Silent Night.
No, they end with "We wish you a Merry Christmas."
Well, they also do the Silent Night thing.
Yeah, Silent Night's always the penultimate thing.
Yeah. So "We wish you Merry Christmas" is basically the Take a Bow song where they bring all of the skaters onto the ice.
Yep.
All of them.
All of them.
It takes up most of the ice.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the ice.
Yeah, you basically, none of them can actually move once they're on there.
Yeah.
Because if they try, they will definitely, like, accidentally slice somebody's shins open.
Generally, we also do leave before they actually, like, do this piece. This is mostly just because the parking lot is small. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There are multiple buses.
Yep.
And we live an hour away. And this is a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I have work tomorrow.
Yeah, so do I. Again, we always basically bug out, either just before or during the last number.
Yep.
Just so we can, like, get back to the car and hightail it out of there before the rush.
Yeah, we did leave, like, I think halfway through the second act last year, but that was, again, just because of other stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't on the performance. That was just, like, our brains were cooked.
Fairness, we're not the only people leaving at that time. At least we didn't have to beat out nuns that time. The first year we did this, there were nuns rushing to their car at the same time we were rushing to our car.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to beat these nuns in the sense of getting to our car first, not in a violent sense. What?
We must beat these nuns in the friendly competition of who gets to their car first.
Yes.
Foot race style. But yeah.
This year we just had to beat out children. That's easy.
Well, we lost the children. Well,
children had a head start.
Here's the thing. I think we actually did beat them out, but just because we were, they had to go up slightly higher than we did.
They did have to go up, and they probably had to wrangle a car seat. So.
Yep. But I held the door open for the father who was carrying the youngest.
You're weak.
I'm just polite, honey.
So they do that piece. They do Silent Night where they have the kids come out on ice holding fake, thankfully, candles.
Yep.
Because you don't want people holding real candles.
Yeah. Yeah, they just use the electric ones, which is the right call.
But it is very cute, and it does, like, you do kind of feel the feels during it.
Yeah. Yeah, they also did it Auld Lang Syne this year.
Yeah, they did it last year, too.
Yeah.
So I think that one's pretty common. They did Hallelujah, which they normally do. They normally have a singer also that they bring in who is semi-famous in a context that I don't really know, but they seem good. So
yeah, they were a good singer. Somebody local, I think they said.
Yep. They bring in, like, I think a semi-famous person as a singer every year, similar to the same famous figure skater. So
yeah. And again, this year, one of the things they did was apparently at some point they auctioned off a beer conductor for a day thing. So one of the pieces was conducted by somebody who did that. And for the record, they did, like, based on what he said, they did like train this guy. So they gave him like a day's worth of conducting lessons and basically taught him to conduct this one particular piece.
He was very snazzily dressed. I liked his outfit.
Yeah, he had vibes. It was fun.
Like a very fancy Christmassy plaid suit.
Yep.
And he was having a blast, so.
Oh, yeah. Again, like, it is a lot of fun. It's great. One thing I saw ages ago that stuck with me is if you're an artist and you're looking for a reference for a wizard while they're casting spells, if it's a universe that uses wands rather than staffs, look up pictures of conductors, because you'll find some interesting poses that would actually work quite well as like over-the-top spellcasting poses. Just a suggestion.
And the conductor will introduces each of the acts. He seemed to be rushing a little bit in the second act this year.
Yeah, to be fair, I do think they do that a little bit in the second act.
Mm-hmm.
When we say rushing, we just mean not introducing each piece.
Mm-hmm. In the first act, they generally tend to, or at least this year, introduce each piece. I don't really remember that much from previous years.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a terribly high opinion of this conductor.
I can't even say what I said.
Yeah, I know, that's why it's funny.
They're just some people who are very good at their jobs, but have that sort of arrogance about them, which means they're going to screw over people in their personal lives, and that's the kind of vibes this guy gives me. I want to be clear, I've never met him. That is an untoward assumption.
Yeah.
This is just a vibe thing.
Yeah.
He seems good at his job, and he is entertaining.
Yes.
That's something you say to, everyone does this with your spouse. You meet a person, you get a vibe, and then you make up stories about them.
This is fair. We do both do that.
Every human being on Earth does that.
Yeah. But no, again.
I'm just going to feel bad if, he, looks up this podcast somehow and is going to be, upset by that.
Again, we are joking for the record. Again, he seems like a perfectly nice, friendly guy.
And he is good at introducing the orchestra, and he really does give everyone their time to shine as an
does.
MC.
And he also really cares about this event.
Yeah, he loves this event.
You can tell how much he loves this event. The vibe I get is that this might be his favorite event of the year that the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra does. And they do a bunch of other stuff throughout the year.
Yeah.
This is the only one of their events that we go to. Just because at least a part of the other stuff tends not to be at times we can do quite as easily.
Mm-hmm. And most of it's also not in the Wheeling Nailers Arena. I assume it's in the nice theater that they have. Yeah. So yeah. But it's very cute. The orchestra's great. The kids in the choir are great. The little miniature figure skaters are great. The costumes are great. The food is aggressively fine. It's stadium food.
Yep.
They had crumble cookies this year.
Yeah, I got an overly expensive crumble cookie just to try it. It was $6 and it was
worth $3?
Yeah, maybe 3.5.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad. It was just overpriced.
Yeah, it tasted like a cookie. I have had cookies that are better. I did try a bite.
Yep.
So.
But again, it's stadium food ultimately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this event fills me with
the warm fuzzies.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we obviously don't talk religion on this podcast, but I think both you and I are fairly secular when it comes to religion and stuff like that.
I'm agnostic.
Yeah. I generally want to believe that if there is a higher power, they will be tolerant of all religious viewpoints as long as the religious viewpoints don't oppress others. But in the secular version of Christmas that we celebrate, which is the version I think most people are kind of sort of forced to celebrate, regardless of what their beliefs are.
Yep.
It's very well represented there. You feel the sort of magic of Christmas in that arena.
Yes.
At least I do.
I do too.
And it's nice to have an event that does that in a way that is also comfortable for people who are a little bit more a-religious like we are.
Yeah.
There are some religious-esque songs, but it's not over the top or done in such a way that's...
Yeah, it's stuff like they did Hallelujah, and for whatever reason, half the audience stood up.
That was confusing, because they also did Gloria, which is also fairly religious, and and they did Silent Night, which I'm glad no one stood up for that, because it would have been weird.
Yeah.
So, that was just kind of weird. I think it might just be a tradition thing, or maybe one person just stood up and then everyone thought they were supposed to, which can happen in crowds. So.
Yeah. Again, it definitely seemed to radiate out from the seating area down at the bottom.
Yeah, because I think some people noticed and then thought that they should, and then obviously in a stadium, if the people in front of you stand up, you're standing up. Yep. Our section did not stand up. I was really appreciative to everyone in our section.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of people behind us who did, but most people didn't.
Yeah. It was mostly just kind of confusing, but again, you do idiosyncrasies of an event, but it is, if you just want to feel a little Christmas spirit, it's a pretty great space for that.
It is.
And then read scripture or anything, which also appreciate. Do we have anything else you want to say about it?
Not really. Again, I think that covers the main points.
We do sometimes look at the program because it does you do get a program when you walk in the door.
Yep.
After you score, which says what you're supposed to do. Programs are free because Britain is stupid.
Yeah, the UK charges for program. Okay,
Just dumb.
here's the thing. It doesn't always do it. It does depend on the thing, but like,
They've
yeah.
always charged for it at every event we've gone to there.
Yeah.
So it mostly does.
It's mostly, yeah.
Which is stupid because the program tells you the names of the actors. That's just disrespectful to them.
It's also frequently full of adverts.
Yeah, why are you not just giving that away?
Because they can sell it for money and people will buy it.
No one buys it.
Quite a lot of people do.
You guys are freaking weird.
My mother has a collection. That's not a joke.
I'm not going to say your mother's weird. Your mother is just, she's the most British woman I've ever met.
Yep. It's great, isn't it?
I mean, I've never met the Queen, to be fair, but she's up there.
Yep.
We talked about what to get her for Christmas when we were at Starbase Indie last week, and somebody suggested something. We're like, yeah, nope, that works based on that description.
Yep. Yeah, you were just like, she's super British. How about this? Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Again, it's cute. She'll like it, I hope.
But anyway, the program, in addition to just having the stuff in order like most programs do and having advertising like all programs do, has the names of pretty much everyone involved, which is great because you get to read the names.
Yeah, you get to read it. Oh, again, we do live in an area where you frequently see a name and you're like, why did you do that to your child?
And for the record, we're not going to call out any of the names specifically on that podcast. Podcast, that's
absolutely
not okay to do with people who are under 18.
And again, keep in mind, I currently work for the admissions department of our university, and one of my jobs does involve looking at every name.
Also, when we're making fun of a name, we're making fun of the parents, not the kid.
Yes. Well, sometimes I'm making fun of the kid because one of the things they can do at our university is list their preferred name on our application form, and like most of them are fine. Like an Alexander whose preferred name is Alex, yeah, fine. We also frequently get people who want to go by their middle name rather than their first name.
And occasionally we get
totally
trans
fine.
Students who don't have a birth certificate change, and
Yep.
we try to be really respectful of that.
Yep. And then occasionally we get somebody who wants their preferred name to be Big D. Yeah, no, I deleted that one. You know, you're not having that on any of the official documentation you're getting from the university. I'm sorry. If your friends want to call you that, great. We're using your actual name.
I need to get students to troll the system now, just to annoy you.
Yeah, here's the thing. You can't do that because it only works, because I only care about them up until the point at which
they have
come
younger
here.
siblings.
Yeah, dang it.
That's who I want to get you to torture.
Dear.
You really seriously should talk about the university about sponsoring a table at this event. If you just say Muskingum University to a bunch of people who all happen to be under the age of 18, that at least gets them starting to think about college.
This is true. And again, like a bunch of them are in high school and around it. Yeah, I'll mention it. But anyway.
Yeah, event is cute.
It is. It's very
Kids
sweet.
have weird names.
Yeah.
That's normal. And I want to emphasize, when we say weird, we're not talking about names that are different ethnicities than us that we haven't heard.
No,
we're
mostly talking about
very bad spellings of certain names.
Again, just look at that and go, why did you spell it that way?
Uh-huh. So, speaking of which, is just a funny aside, I might as well share this on the podcast. So, I have discovered one way to determine that students aren't using AI.
Which is?
So, this one student, and again, anonymizing, not violating FERPA, interviewed their I'm just going to say relative for this event, or like for their paper, which is fine. It's cute. It adds a development to their paper. But I know they didn't use AI for it because of the way they spelt their relative's name. No one spelt Brittany that way. AI would not spell Brittany that way.
Cool.
That's anonymizing enough, right?
Yeah.
No one's going to listen to this episode anyway.
It does, yeah.
I feel bad because people actually really liked the Starbase Indie episode, and now we're following it up with this. For the record, we are going to GalaxyCon.
Yeah, like this is a special bonus episode we're doing for a thing we went to on a Thursday.
Yep.
Like GalaxyCon, the GalaxyCon episode is coming. We haven't recorded it yet because we haven't been to GalaxyCon yet, but that's mostly going to be us whinging.
I feel bad because GalaxyCon, other than like one horrific cosplay contest thing hasn't actually done anything wrong other than be a corporate con that charges too much money.
And metal detectors.
Oh yeah, the medical. Okay, yeah, we can hate GalaxyCon. It's fine.
Yeah. Again, we'll have stuff to talk about with regards to GalaxyCon. This is mostly just a light, fun event that we are mostly recording the episode on because it's 10 o'clock at night and I wanted something to keep me awake while I drove.
Not asleep. We don't need a repeat of that.
That only happened one time.
We're not confessing to that on the podcast.
Don't drive after being awake for nearly 24 hours as a result of, delayed plane flights, kids. It's a bad idea.
Also, don't say you can drive when your then fiance. Wait, I'm not supposed to say that. Your then girlfriend.
Yeah, that was before we got engaged.
Yes.
But yeah, like
when your then girlfriend says, "Hey, I actually can't fall asleep like normal people, so why don't you just let me drive if you're gonna fall asleep?"
I genuinely thought I was fine, and then
you were not fine, and you turned off the stupid light on the car that was beeping to tell you when you were going out of the lane.
Yeah, because it was annoying me because it was beeping too much.
Because you were going out of the lane.
Okay, this was 2 years ago.
Yes, this was 2 years ago for the record.
Actually, it's longer than that. It was 3 years ago.
And for the record, this was also a situation where we did not have a choice but to drive. None of the other options were remotely viable.
Yeah, our connecting flight back home got cancelled, and we had
Our connecting flight back home got canceled. I can't stay in hotels due to my disability. We had a dog
Emma
with us who also can't stay in hotels. Also, all the hotels were booked and the airport was shut down. Believe me, while this was not an option I would do in any other circumstance, it was pretty much the only choice we had.
Our best option in that situation was driving back to Ohio from New York.
Yes.
So yeah, that happened. But yeah, again, we're getting off topic.
Yes.
This is a fun, silly event that if you live anywhere near Wheeling, West Virginia, which again is right smack on the border with Ohio for the record.
You should go.
You should go.
Claim a child.
Don't claim children that don't belong to you.
I'm not going to actually kidnap them. I'm just going to say they're our kid.
That's still weird, honey.
It's just weird, though. It's not illegal. It's not illegal to say a child is yours to a random person.
True, but it does feel slightly unethical. And again, you are the ethicist in this relationship.
Yeah, it's really annoying to be an ethicist because people think you're more ethical or whatever. You're not.
No, you're exactly as unethical as the rest of us. You're just more aware of that fact.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's ethical or not. This is the thing: is I can give you explanations for why anything's ethical. It's great.
Yeah,
and annoying. True. So go to Wheeling, West Virginia. Go to this festival. Pick out a child that vibes with you. Don't actually kidnap it, but claim it's yours to strangers.
This is the advice we're giving on this episode, apparently.
Yes.
You've had a very long day at work, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It sucked. I love my students, but it frickin' sucked. This is why you should kidnap a child that is under the age of 18. Only in the sense of telling people that you're going to. Not in the sense of actually doing it, because that is illegal.
Yes, we want to clarify, we do not support kidnapping.
No, we don't.
What we support is going and supporting weird local events that are fun, cute, and generally enjoyable.
Or goat napping. Goat napping is also bad, although probably less bad.
Yeah, don't kidnap goats either.
Mostly because the goat won't let you kidnap it half the time.
Yeah, the goat will not cooperate.
We got chased out of a field by a goat.
We did. No. We chose to leave that field of our own accord, and that happened to coincide with what the goat wanted.
How is anyone still listening to this?
They probably aren't. This is a very bad episode.
It definitely is. But it kept us awake on the drive home.
It did, and that's kind of, again, with the best will in the world, if you are listening to this, we don't actually record this podcast for you. We record this podcast at least in part as a journaling memory aid device for ourselves.
Well, that said, we do really enjoy our fans. And
we do.
Any time anyone comes up and says that they've listened to our podcast at a con or something like that, it does make our day.
It really does.
We really do love it.
We do.
But I will say this particular episode is more just kind of us. This event, honestly, is really special to us.
Yeah.
It's the first weird thing we did together. It was before we even started going to conventions, and it, I think, helped us figure out us as a couple in a weird way.
It did.
Mostly that we're going to be a weird couple who go to things.
Yep.
Speaking of which, again, if you are on Facebook, remember to mark your birthdays as private, not public events, because I will go to them. And I will find bowling trophies if you're turning 80 that you won 60 years ago on eBay, which has happened before, and then turn up with them.
She's not kidding, guys.
This is why you go to cons with me, because you know I'm only about, like,
Yeah, like, again, if I don't keep you occupied with stuff we're actually supposed to go to, you will actually suggest doing stuff like this, and you will. I can't tell the degree to which you're joking. Again, you suggested we go to a mortician's conference a while back, and I wasn't sure if you were joking or not. This is the level that we are at in our relationship.
I want to cosplay at cons where you're not supposed to cosplay. Like, I want to cosplay, at the, like, I don't know, electricians convention and just do a bunch of, like, LEDs. Or the accountants convention and just be, like, some scales. Or an Excel spreadsheet.
No, I do not need to know how you cosplay as an Excel spreadsheet. Anyway.
We should probably wrap this up.
Yes. So, this is a fun event. We like it. It's weird in all the right ways, and it's just very, very cute.
And if you pay enough attention, you actually can watch the kids kind of grow up. Like,
You
I have noticed some kids from before who I think are now a little bit older and better skaters, which is cute.
I'm going to be honest, I do not remember enough details from you.
That's because you're not mentally kidnapping children.
Okay. This episode kind of got off the rails towards... Actually got off the rails immediately with that opening joke.
Started off rails. I don't know what you thought. This is me when I'm, like, so tired I can't actually keep my mind focused on anything, and therefore I have no filter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we are stone cold sober. Like, I can't remember the last time I had alcohol.
Yep.
And yet, this is the kind of conversation you have when you're drunk.
It's mostly just, like, I love my students. They're great kids. You do have to constrain a lot of what you say around them to, like, make them comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And there are time periods where you just kind of need to just let stuff out.
That's fair. I also have the child filter in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
The switch I can just flick where it's like, oh, okay, there are small children around. I am not going to curse.
No, it's nothing about cursing.
I'm not going to make questionable jokes.
It's not about questionable jokes.
Again, there are things you can't say around children.
It's more just like sometimes people ask dumb questions, but you shouldn't let them know that they're dumb questions because, as I've mentioned to you before, everyone, and I'm very much including myself in this, everyone, including myself, is stupid when they're trying to learn something new. You have to be stupid when you're trying to learn something new.
Because you don't know enough to know what's a dumb question, which means you need to ask all of the questions.
Exactly, and I would rather you ask those questions than not, but sometimes you're just like, what? WTF? That's so wrong. How did you even get there? But you can't say that to them because you want to be encouraging them to have those conversations so they can be less wrong.
Again, my version of this is the post we saw a while ago from somebody who was like, so I'm going to my first convention, and if you meet somebody who's wearing the same costume as you, do you have to go home and change? That was a very dumb question, but it was also adorable.
That is. And that's how a lot of it is. But again, I have to negotiate this a lot this time of the year because a lot of people are panicked. Somebody asked me about whether or not they should change their font today. I don't care.
Again, as long as you're not writing it in Wingdings.
Yep. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of filtering. A lot of people are anxious. You have to validate all of those feelings, which means the parts of your mind that are more snarky or more just like, why are you asking this? Or like, I have so many other problems now besides this, you have to turn off. Which then means at moments like this, you're just like, yeah, let's just say whatever. And I hope that's a fair representation that's not making fun of my students, because it's important for me not to make fun of my students. And if I do, with love.
Yes. Again, they're good beans.
Yeah, and I try not to talk about them too often on this podcast too specifically.
Yeah.
So
I've never heard you use specifics.
I would never say anyone's name or anything like that. I did make a couple references to them tonight because I do think it is more relevant this time of year than normal. But again, I try to keep them off as much as possible,
which is fine. So yeah. So we are very, very nearly home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we somehow.
Oh sweet, the lake's finally icing over.
Oh goody. Side note, if you live near a lake and it ices over, don't walk on it. Don't do what they did at my university and build a goddamn snowman in the middle of it.
Also, if you have an ethics professor, please do not confess unethical things you've done to them. That is not my job. I'm not a Catholic priest.
Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah. So, wrapping up, the Wheeling Symphony on Ice. It's a great little event. It's not expensive. It's well worth going to if you want to. Just keep in mind the parking is $10. That's about all I have to say at this point.
Why is it telling you to turn the opposite direction?
It's not.
Okay, I'm tired. Anyway, parking is $10. Tickets are relatively cheap. Go.
Have
Claim a
fun.
child that you think you want to be yours. Metaphorically adopt it.
And never actually get near enough to them to have this conversation because it's too weird.
Yes, unless the parent offers for you to adopt it. Then go through the legal channels properly.
Good night, everybody.